been a while. Yeah, things got a little crazy with the whole strike. So it's been an interesting time of just processing what are the most important things that I'm trying to accomplish in this career of artistry, and how can I go about continuing on this journey even if this industry is shut down for now. It's been a very emotional but very good time back in school. I picked up this bad boy for my birthday. Even if we're not acting, living a life of artistry, I think, is still something I'm deeply connected to. It's been interesting to see how these threads connect, right? And studying things in school that are not related to the creative process. I assumed, I knew that I would love screenwriting. And I luckily have a really fantastic professor. But I wasn't sure about constitutional law. But it's been a really good time for me. Because at the end of the day, I think, at the end of the day as artists, if we're not studying the world, what does our artistry hold? And the telling of stories, right? And this desire to tell stories, we have to have something to tell. So I have found the experience of being in school to be really helpful in just widening the perspective, and also helping to find like these things that are actually really important to our telling of stories. All of that to say, I was reading this book and there was a line that stuck out to me, because Stanislavski is talking about this person that he went to watch at the theater, and he said he would persuade us with his acting, for his art was truthful, and truth is always persuasive. And it was interesting because I'm in this constitutional law class. We're talking about Hobbes. We're talking about how to define personhood and utilizing truth in persuasion. Hobbes happens to talk about an actor, which I love because that helps me put into focus what he's actually trying to say. It just made me think about so many times as an actor, you'll hear, even as an artist, right? This is a big thing of the overuse of being authentic. But that means different things to different people. And it gave me a little bit of a hard time. It gave me a little bit of a hard time because people would use it in a way where they still wanted to set the framework for you, right? So they would say, we want you to be authentic, but we also want you to be fill in the blank. And what do you do when your authenticity, it's conflicting with this other idea that they have, right? So I really did not like that term. If we are being truthful, right? For acting specifically, if we are more than memorizing lines, but embodying who this character is to us, that can be persuasive. And even if it's not what someone was expecting in the first place, right? I think that's the hard thing for actors specifically, because we're going in and we have to be approved by someone, right? Even as artists, we still are looking for some kind of approval, no matter what, whether we're trying to sell a piece or trying to get into a gallery. Whatever the mode is, there's still some kind of approval that has to be given. And so when we have in our minds the goal of seeking approval, it can take us so far away from what was true. And so I find it interesting because now we're in a place where there is no industry to approve or disapprove. We're just being artists. I'm curious about how many times I was unable to persuade because I wasn't being truthful. Furthermore, the question that I pose is, how can we be more truthful in our art? And that's something that I'm wrestling with as I'm writing this new script. I still push back against the idea of authentic because I think people still have a preconceived notion of what they will expect. But if we tell a story, if we craft something that is true to us, I do think that eventually it will do what it needs to do in the world, regardless of whose approval it gets. So I do find that an interesting question for myself currently, of how to be more true. Even when you find truth, how to stay to it and not be disrupted by anyone else's opinion. Well, those are my thoughts. Let me know if that resonates with you, if you have any thoughts about that. I'm interested to see how this question sits with me over the next few months. And I hope that all of us can hone in on something really beautiful during this time that we may not have otherwise gotten the chance or even been pushed to see or discover within ourselves. You're exactly who you're meant to be. Bye.